It's a pleasure to have you here. The details now. One more person has died in the renewed Chokosis-Konkomba clash after another community was attacked last night. In a related event, residents of Chereponi in the northern region are protesting this morning over what they say is the failure of security personnel to maintain peace and rules on curfew hours imposed after that renewed clash over the weekend. There who are protesting the security situation in the area. But on Wednesday, Interior Minister Ambrose Derry spoke about the situation in the area and mentioned that the Regional Security Council had imposed a curfew in the area.
The committee was set up to look at the matter about the report. We are implementing the report. As I speak to you, yesterday the police council met. We've agreed to establish police stations. No more just sending people there and to restore. Sending police stations there, not just there, but also in Alavanyo. One of the places that we go and they fight and we withdraw, we want to put permanent structures there. We are there. And then the investigations are continuing. It's unfortunate that for the past 2 days they started burning houses, but now what we have had is a killing. The body has been sent to Tamale for this, and investigations are continuing. Some people have been arrested, and we are going to continue to investigate these matters. But we do not want people to create the impression that we are dealing with a situation that has never happened. We are dealing with a situation that we think must not continue to exist, and we're going to make sure that we work to eliminate it. But we need your support. We need information about the people who come around. And I can assure you that I engage to do well. Let me use the opportunity to thank you because you play your role in trying to get these things on. And we want to make sure that we assure you that this government will not renege on its promise to make Ghana safe.
Interior Minister Ambrose Derry, the curfew was later reviewed from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Reviewed from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. to 6 a.m. The Regional Security Councils of the Northern and Northeast regions also imposed a ban on the use of motorbikes in the Chereponi and Saboba districts. Health workers, teachers, public servants and women are exempted. And these exempted persons are only allowed to use their bikes between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. But according to residents who are protesting this morning, several communities were burned last night during the curfew hours. Suleimana Jemilatu Fringe read a statement on behalf of the protesters.
We stand here and we come in peace this morning to present our grievances to the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We the women and children are here to let Nana Addo know that the security situation in our community keeps on deteriorating every day. There is sporadic attacks at every community away from Chereponi. Our children cannot go to school because all schools are closed down because of Concombas attack everywhere. We the women and children are most vulnerable and appealing to the government to do the following for us. One, our major roads need police barriers. The soldiers should have their tents for outskirts and insecure points to our communities. Allow the police to do the community patrolling. Though not official, but if it could be true that our men should not use motorbike, then the government should know that Chereponi and its environment has few days to survive, which we women and children of Chereponi cannot withstand. We don't
Let's speak to correspondent Martina Bugri now on what we just saw, that demonstration in the area. Hello, Martina. Now, we realized in the videos that you sent us earlier that these protesters masked up at a police station. What exactly happened when they got there?
They are there to present a petition to the police. They think that the curfew imposed on Chereponi is not fair. They are saying that they go to sleep at 4, and within that time, people had access to the area and burned some communities to the extent that somebody was killed. And so they think that they are not being protected, even though the security have asked them to go to sleep and they'll protect them. They are not giving them that protection. And that is why the demonstration this morning and to present a petition to the government.
Martina, just briefly explain to us the nature of the clash that occurred last night and which community was affected.
What I gather is that early towards dawn, I mean, there was an attack on this community, and then one person was killed. But they had attacked other 2 communities earlier in the night.
And these communities, what has been left of them? We know that usually the nature of the attack is to burn the communities or burn the homes in the communities completely. Is that what is happening there? And if that happened, where are the people who live in the community?
What I gather is that they have moved to Chereponi Township. Most people whose homes were burnt yesterday and this morning have all moved to Chereponi. But I also gather 2 buses of police officers have been dispatched to the area.
So tell us, the residents say that the police is not telling us the truth, and they claim that they are probably managing the information and are not telling us the right reflection of what's happening.
That is the case. When you speak to the Chokosis side, they tell you that currently they have burnt over 20 communities, and they have recorded more than 5 deaths. And if you speak to the Konkomba side, they also tell you similar situations. But they think that the security is managing the information to look good in the public eye.
Martina, have you been able to reach the DCE, any of the security agencies or heads of the agencies?
I earlier on called the DC. He told me he was in the meeting and that he'll get back to me. I also tried reaching the police PRO. I'm told he's also in the meeting currently. So it's been difficult to get them to talk.
Thankfully, we've been joined by the police PRO for the Northern Region, DSP Yusuf Tanko. Thank you so much for your time this morning, sir. We understand that the situation has escalated. Residents of Chereponi are unhappy. What can you tell us with regards to the attacks that occurred last night?
Good morning to you, and good morning to your viewers as well. The situation has not escalated, but yesterday we recorded some incidents around Chereponi where 2 communities were attacked, and 1 person lost his life, which is very unfortunate. The police and the military team moved in there, but before they got there, the suspects had run away, and these are Chokosi communities that were attacked and burned down. Yeah, and with the people of Chereponi being angry, it doesn't relate to how the security is handling the situation on the ground. They themselves know we are doing a lot, and we've been able to prevent a lot of the attacks that could have come to the communities around Chereponi. But they protested this morning with regards to a directive from RESEC that motorbikes should be banned. Yeah, so that was the protest from the people of Chereponi.
All right, we heard them before you came onto the show, but let me come to that address by Jamila, who is the spokesperson, or who spoke on behalf of the people who were protesting. Now, she used the expression, though not official, if it is true, referring to the ban. How was it communicated? Because if it was communicated to them officially, I doubt she would use the expression, though not official.
Yeah, for the expression, surely whatever means by which it was communicated, you will get the expression, because motorbikes are mostly what people use in Chereponi and around. And so banning the movement of motorbikes surely will affect them greatly. But we need to look at their comfort and also how they manage their affairs against the security that is on the ground, and what intelligence and the modules that security has taken from those who are involved in this conflict. So it is not an intended action to deepen their worries, but it is a measure that is geared at ensuring that lasting peace is restored, and also we check the movement of those who go around and cause havoc.
DSP, we here in our office receive a statement communicating that ban. I'm asking, how did the people on the ground receive the information, and how was it communicated to them?
Yeah, the information from RESEC came last night. Yesterday in the evening. But you know, some of these things, when they happen, RESEC engages the information service to go around and churn out the information.
Did that happen?
I'm unable to tell whether that has been done or not, but this has been communicated to the security on the ground, and we are sure that RESEC might have communicated it to the information service for them to go around and also churn it out.
Before you go, DSP, you told us earlier that the communities that were attacked last night were Chokosi communities. Earlier this week, we understand that leaders of the Chokosis had a meeting. My colleague Martina Bugri, who's in the region, also reported that the leadership of the Konkombas had agreed to meet with the leaders of the Chokosis and try and find a lasting solution to this. We've also heard that Yana has intervened trying to solve the problem. Why are we still where we are at with regards to dealing with this conflict?
Yeah, so far the security is concerned, we are doing our very best. We have patrol teams that are going across the areas, and you agree with me that we cannot be at the one place at the same time. So we need to be moving, and we also react upon distress calls that come to us. So these are how we are using to manage the situation. But we're talking to the people. A lot of effort has gone into this. If you read the RESEC communication yesterday, you see the catalog of efforts that have been made by government, by police, military, and other concerned citizens and organizations in helping to bring peace to the area. But they look as if the Konkombas in particular are very difficult to control in this situation, because when you look, yesterday, for instance, I was in the community, and there is one community known as Garikuka, where the DCE was shot. The Konkombas had raised a roadblock, and they were compelled to remove those roadblocks. And going a little out of Garikuka, there are some culverts there. The Konkombas are trying to break those culverts to prevent vehicles from moving from Yendi, that Garikuka, and to access Chereponi, and also to prevent the Chereponi people from accessing Yendi and the other parts of the northern region. So security needs to be very hard, and that is how we are doing. We've been very hard on that route to prevent the Konkombas from doing that. And yesterday, for instance, these two communities that were burnt and the one person killed, it was perpetrated by the Konkombas. And you remember earlier in the week, one person was shot in the forehead, and that was also perpetrated by the Konkombas. So, though the Chokosis are not blameless, they also react to what the Konkombas are doing, and also go and try to attack and also burn Konkomba community. But I think the Konkomba leadership will have to sit their people down and let them see the need to refrain from this heinous crime.
Briefly, DSP, what do you think, or have you gathered any information on what is stalling the peace process or the attempt to deal with this conflict?
You see, when you look at the whole situation, there is deep-seated mistrust between the Chokosis and the Konkombas, and each is trying very hard to inflict damage on the other. And as I did say, when you look at the situation from the beginning up to now, mostly it is the Konkombas who are the first to attack. We are not saying I'm not saying the Chokosis are not at fault, but if the Konkombas were to use the police station, if they were to use the court, if they were to use other relevant organizations such as the traditional authorities to resolve what they think the Chokosis have done wrong, I think we will not be at where we are. So we are calling on the Chokosis leadership, whatever they do to irritate the Konkombas, they should refrain. And we are also appealing to the Konkombas that when the Chokosis seem to offend them, they should use the legal processes to resolve those issues, but not to resort to the use of arms.
Thank you very much for your time this morning. DSP Yusuf Tanko speaks for the Northern Region Police. He's been updating us on recent happenings in Chereponi, as one more person is dead, and a resident of Chereponi put on the street to protest what they call the inability of security personnel to maintain peace in the area.